cold wind blew through the mountains of the Ebon Reach, howling the truth that most men never dare speak. That death and doom is ever within the reach. Anyone consumed by vengeance, rage, greed, or lost by any sin, I didn't mention the deed. Pondering sages of the ages knew the prophecy of the ancients about the final ever-bash soon to unfold in this age of death, chaos, and gloom. Beneath Acid Moonz, Luthric Ash was on the move, consumed by madness and a seething rage none could soothe. He was in Azil now, pursuing his goal of conquering that land the last king ruled hold. Before the vast badlands of the bastard clans, where the Kelson born would bravely make their last stand against him undoubtedly, for now he would face the king of Azil, Verimar Ridulin, his grace, the bearer of the sapphire flaming star steel, blade the dragon slayer of Illiad was and the shield of Nerevar's keel, the slayer of Ildrakarth, and the helm of Velos, the dead archon of frost. Ice, winter, wind, air, love, and defiance, despite loss, against the grim forces of the night and of mindless chaos, who descended through the layers of the deep black abyss, slaying Baals on his way to the river of Styx, to collect the lost souls of his dead lover Silas. In the layer of Nyx, the second lowest layer of hell, where an ancient fiendish chaos tarantula dwelled, Silak, whom he found in the wet corridors of the fortress of loss, the demonic arachnid he courageously fought and slaughtered, making it to Styx, where he found Charon the ferryman, and carefully looked around for a sign of Silas, the deceased love of his life, the mother of his children and his beloved wife. When Thal had appeared and he'd entered a bargain to regain Silas alive, if he served him as Archon, he'd return to Azil with Silas by his side. But soon Thal had called on him to start a big fight against the Legion of Light forming in the Ebon Reach. They were surprised that Velos was suddenly their arch-enemy. The age of ice and strife was upon them, but in the end he was slain by Silas to her own endless grief. Most of the mortals, commoners, none cared to warn them that the beginning of the ever-bash of doom was upon them. Never-ending doom under Acid Moonz. Never-ending doom under Acid Moonz. Never-ending doom under Acid Moonz. In the morning of Kronth, before Vril's people awoke at the bells of Castle Zamarinth ringing, because the enemy was approaching from the west. The Doom Herald, Verimar Ridulin and his vassal lords and heroes, they sat up and rode through the city, over the bridge to West Shore, towards Westgate through the eerie morning fog on the River Zeshir. They were heavily armored and armed to the teeth with spears, axes and swords and blasters, and driven by sheer defiant iron will, without any fear in their hearts, for they knew regardless of their fate, they would have to fight the Doom Herald by the Westgate with the pride of their lives, their honorable king, Verimar Ridulin, whom bards they would sing of long into the future, even if they did die, for his great courage and theirs too, to at least try to stand against Luthric Ash in his great doom of wrath, conquest of the Western Ebon Reach, and after that the bastard clan lands, and then all of Thal Drazark between the moon, sea and shimmer deep, would defend the realms against the dread king, and none of them, they thought as they rode for the Westgate to begin the ever-bash against the great threat to their realm, the brave last defenders of the kingdom Azil. Foremost of them King Verimar Ridulin himself, then Ulfrid Neveril, his chief lieutenant and Helm, Ruric the 12th, the two lords of rural Azil, then Lathandar Zerel, young brash lord of Bristol, and the lord of dead dragon, Avaros Neveril, the brother of Ulfrid and of course Samarel Ridulin, the king's younger brother and lord, of Andragoth, where ancient Wyrmwarden had been fought, in the hills of Varmoth, by Azil Iskalith the Blue, the sapphire dragon founder of Azil, first to rule over the refugees from Lathandar, whom the cruel Wyrmwarden slew. And then of course Illiad the true Ildrakarth was who vanquished the great Elder Red Wyrm, who had filled the realm with terror, the dread of Azil, whose descendant the Red Wyrm, Ildrakarth, King Verimar had fought but not killed. 3 times until now they believed that they stood a chance against the Doom Herald. Unwavering could anyone end the threat against the realms that he was. It was them of course, and even if it ended in loss, their stand would inspire brave men all across. Thal Drazark and brave women too of course. As they gazed upon the hills beyond the city's west gate, and awaited Luthric Ash next to the King Verimar his grace, they suddenly saw the lich lord appear in a haze of red mist that had appeared. He rode in a great haste on a nightmare steed. Towards them soon they would face the one who had laid ruin to Dawndera the great. Realm to the north, soon the slaughter began. No matter how hard they fought, few could withstand the skill and the rage of the dreaded Doom Herald. Then the Iron Dragon Ildrakarth appeared in his shadow. Luthric Ash was making his way towards King Verimar Ridulin, full of bloodlust and rage, and inexplicable hate towards the living his blade. Grim demise met the dragon slayer of Ildrakarth was the great. The grave Lord Luthric forced King Verimar back, and then the Iron Wyrm landed next to them and attacked. Luthric it blew out a cone of superheated sparks. Luthric snarled and conjured up a sphere of darkness around them, through which no human could see. So soon it was just him against Ildrakarth. His doomed glee had banished the banished lord of the Ashlands through. Grim demise, high and full of matters, he threw himself into a mad attack against the metallic blue-eyed dragon whose talons carried the first few sword attacks, then Luthric's whirling attacks. The flurry of slashes, the unfurling barrage of hits left massive gashing wounds in the face and on the neck and the arms of the gigantic great iron dragon who wailed out in pain as Luthric's attacks they rained upon it like a hellish acidic hailstorm. The worm changed into its human form to confuse his strong foe, the strongest that the old Iron Wyrm had met in his entire long life. He returned Luthric's attacks with a whirl of slashes from his own magical great sword with which he once slew the mighty ogre mage Luthric Ash, who had conquered Kandalar from the iron-hot walls. The attack forced back Luthric Ash as they fought. King Verimar Ridulin gathered all of his strength and struck Luthric Ash in the back, who sank to the ground to the sound of cheers all around. But then he got up again and began to swing grim demise while he held up the glad mather high. Then he conjured up a ring of fire around him, and then summoned 4 huge Balors, growling demons from the depths of the dark Neveril, the black abyss, and soon the 4 Balors had killed all the valorant Night Lords who defended the realm. Soon it was just King Verimar and his old friend the ancient Ildrakarth, who was alive still. Verimar crowed up on Ildrakarth's back, and the two flew away north towards the Zeshirine Mountains, towards Ildrakarth. They would not die yet, despite it meaning the crown and throne and city would very soon be had by the doom-raging Mintcast, Lord of ruin and wrath. The doom bash, the ever bash, the final bash. Never-ending doom on the Acid Moonz, and the waning sun.